Good afternoon, viewers, subscribers. I'm back again. My name is Nkoli Singobe. Um, I'm this time I'm responding to questions that you've sent to us uh, for those that are applying for the move from the Zimbabwe Exemption Permit to the mainstream South African permit. So the question that has been asked a number of times and continues being asked is, what do people need to apply for a waiver? Uh, should everybody apply for a waiver? Especially from those that are doing general work, those that are working as gardeners, and those others that are doing domestic work. So we have researched on this, and what we have found out is that you cannot just apply for a waiver uh, just because you want to move from the Zimbabwe exemption permit to the general work visa. What you should do is you should first check on the list of visas that are provided on the Home Affairs Department's website. If you do not qualify for critical skills visa, you look up the general work visa. So if you are sure that you qualified for the general work visa, but you do not meet some of the requirements that you need to satisfy to apply for that general work visa, like for example, you cannot travel to Zimbabwe for one reason or another, or you cannot produce an advert that was published for which job you ended up being employed in, then can you apply for a work visa? I mean, for a waiver. So you do not, if you do not qualify for any permit, if you do not qualify for the general work visa, you cannot apply for a waiver because you don't qualify for a waiver. So what you should do is first be sure that you qualify for the general work visa. So the person who applies or who qualifies to apply for a waiver is somebody who already qualifies for a work visa, who is already employed in South Africa, who then, because of certain red tapes, knows that if they just submit their qualifications and their application, they may be turned down because they haven't satisfied some of these things, like that are needed for you to qualify, that are needed for a fresh applicant to satisfy. So if you are already employed and you qualify for a general work visa, only then can you then apply for a waiver as an individual, or your company can apply for that waiver for you to say that so and so is employed by us. He seeks to move from the Zimbabwe exemption permit to the general work visa in South Africa. But because of ABCD, we believe that they deserve a waiver for them to apply for the general work visa. So in that particular instance, you can then apply for a work visa. If you are working as a maid, for example, or a gardener, or a shopkeeper, or a tailor, and this doesn't qualify you for a general work visa, there is no way or there is no need for you to apply for a waiver because you already do not qualify for a general work visa. Now, there is something critical about this because we've also been sent some messages of people claiming that they can circumnavigate the system, that they can cut corners and make people qualify for the general work visa. Our advice to you is, of course, the last decision will come from you, but our advice is that do not fall for these tricks, because the likelihood of this person taking away your money, failing to deliver, and running away from you is very high. The second likelihood is that you may be given what looks like a general work visa when in actual fact it's not even in the system. So at the end of the day, you would have spoiled your passport. At the end of the day, you would have lost your money. At the end of the day, you would have been duped. So at the end of the day, the decision will come from you. As I've said, go into these deals knowing for certain what they are, because there is no way, absolutely no way, that these people will take your money and then deliver the real permit. And even if they do cut corners with some home affairs people and give you this, what looks like a permit or this permit, remember that the home affairs department is actually auditing all permits that were issued from 2004 to date, with a view of checking where processes were cut off, where processes were disregarded, where procedures were disregarded, with a view to cancelling out some of these permits, some of these, and it's not just general work visas, it's not about just permanent residence permit, but it's every type of permit that was issued from 2004 up to date. So you may get your permit today, the next day is found out that you cut corners to get that permit. What the Home Affairs Department is going to do is they will simply cancel that permit. You've lost your money. There is no way that you're going to recover it back. Or some of you may even be arrested. So you must be careful what you enter into. Then that said, negotiations are still going on. The Zimbabwean government is involved in these. Some civil society movements are involved in this to try and make sure that South Africa doesn't illegalize the more than 170,000 Zimbabweans that are holders of the Zimbabwe Exemption Permit that expired last year in December, which have been given a grace period which sets them to expire on the 31st of December this year. So let's continue hoping that these negotiations will bear fruit. Let's continue hoping that maybe South Africa, because it's reviewing its immigration laws, because it's doing a skills audit, because it's is toying around with the introduction of quota permits, maybe before the end of the year, before the end of the grace period in 12 months' time, maybe we'll roll out the white paper on international migration, which was gazetted in 2018 in July. So if that happens, it therefore means that more SADC citizens will be granted quota permits in South Africa. So for now, I think I've answered your questions. I've also given you this warning. For you to continue asking further questions, you need to subscribe to this channel. You need to share this video and like it, but also send your questions underneath this video. You will find the comment section. That's where you can send through your questions. You can also find us on Facebook. The page is African Voice Global News. It's a Facebook page, African Voice Global News, or you can look me up. My name is Mxolisi Ncube. You will find me on Facebook. I also have a page, I have a Facebook account. I have a Facebook page. I'm also available on Twitter at Mxolisi, at Ncube Mxolisi. So thank you very much. I'm looking forward to getting more questions from you. I'm looking forward to answering more questions from you. Have a wonderful day.